Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. A resilient economy within 3 years is the target, President divulges. 16% increase in tourist arrivals, official data reveals. News in detail. President Anukumar Dissanayake presented a bold vision for the country's economic future at the international conference Sri Lanka's Road to Recovery, Debt and Governance. This conference, which was held in Colombo recently, highlighted the commitment to establish a stable and self-reliant economy by 2028.
Delivering the keynote address, President Dissanayake declared that by 2028, Sri Lanka aims to have established a resilient economy capable of independently meeting its external debt obligations without external assistance. He stressed that true national sovereignty cannot exist amid economic collapse and reaffirmed the government's ultimate goal to restore sovereignty through economic stability and self-reliance. The President called for collective effort from political leaders, public officials and citizens, highlighting that ongoing reforms require sustained dedication. The conference also featured remarks from Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, who credited the IMF and international partners for supporting Sri Lanka's recovery following a historic crisis that culminated in sovereign default in 2022. Dr. Veerasinghe highlighted key achievements under the IMF's Extended Fund Facility program, including taming inflation, rebuilding external balances and improving fiscal discipline. However, he emphasized that stabilization is only the first step and that sustained growth depends on structural changes and governance reforms. New legislation such as the Central Bank Act and Anti-Corruption Act were cited as critical to restoring institutional credibility.
During her address at the conference, Deputy Managing Director of the IMF, Geeta Gopinath, acknowledged Sri Lanka's recent economic efforts but highlighted the country's history of economic instability. IMF Deputy Managing Director reminded the audience that Sri Lanka has undertaken numerous IMF programs and ended them prematurely, ultimately leading to economic demise.
Sri Lanka has delivered. We're at this midpoint where we are in a good place. The reforms look strong, progress looks strong, but we also have to remind ourselves of the risks. So the IMF has had, with Sri Lanka, we've had 16 previous programs. About half of them have ended prematurely. And the reason that has happened is because reform fatigue sets in, the hard-won gains get reversed, and so I think we can all agree that the country cannot afford to repeat this cycle. It is critically important to sustain the reform momentum and to do so in a manner that's inclusive and accountable. The IMF will remain a steadfast partner of Sri Lanka, and we very much look forward to working together to improve the lives of all the citizens now and future generations.
The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority recorded over 43,900 tourist arrivals during the first 10 days of June compared to 33,017 in the same period last year. This was revealed by the latest data released by the Tourism Development Authority recently.
Daily arrivals also improved, averaging 4,396 visitors, up from 3,302 in 2024. Despite these gains, stakeholders remain cautious as the industry struggles to meet projections. A shortfall of 279,452 arrivals during the first 5 months highlights the challenges in converting interest into actual visits. From January to June 10, 2025, over 1.07 million tourists visited Sri Lanka, a 16% increase compared to 2024. Notably, January, February and May arrivals surpassed pre-COVID levels from 2018. India, the UK and Bangladesh emerged as top markets in June, contributing 12,362, 3,740 and 2,717 visitors respectively. Year to date, India leads with 216,422 arrivals, followed by Russia and the UK. Tourism revenue from the first 5 months reached $1.54 billion, but $3.46 billion more is needed to hit the annual $5 billion target.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. President Anukumar Dissanayake met with IMF Deputy Managing Director Geeta Gopinath and the IMF delegation to discuss Sri Lanka's economic recovery and reform agenda. President Dissanayake highlighted concerns about the impact of US tariffs on Sri Lankan exports during the meeting held at the Presidential Secretariat recently.
President Anukumar Dissanayake emphasized the government's focus on attracting investment and aligning economic reforms with public aspirations. Discussions also touched on Sri Lanka's trade relations with the European Union, particularly the GSP Plus trade concession that provides preferential access to EU markets, contributing to 23% to the nation's exports. President Dissanayake reaffirmed his administration's commitment to fostering investor confidence and sustaining economic recovery. Key government officials, including Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Economic Development Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe and Finance Secretary Mahinda Siriwardana also participated in these discussions.
The 22nd edition of the annual Culinary Art Food Expo exhibition, Cafe 2025, organized by the Chefs Guild of Sri Lanka, was held at the BMICH Colombo recently. Bringing together over 3,000 chefs from renowned hotels in Sri Lanka and abroad, it was the largest event of its kind in the region, celebrating culinary excellence and innovation.
Cafe was Sri Lanka's leading culinary and hospitality exhibition, uniting experts and innovators from the food, beverage and hospitality industries. The event highlighted the full supply chain from food production and processing to dining and hospitality services. Participating in the event, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya stated that the exhibition was more than just an expo, it was a celebration that showcased Sri Lanka's rich culinary heritage and the exceptional talents of its skilled chefs to the world. Further, she emphasized the importance of increasing the presence of female chefs in Sri Lanka's culinary industry and urged stakeholders to actively promote and showcase their talents on the global stage.
This is more than an expo. It is a celebration of skill, heritage, collaboration, and the limitless creativity that food inspires. And I don't see very many female chefs in the country, and I think this is also something we need to really think about and really promote, because I think our home cooking and our women chefs, our cooks at home, really have developed art and tradition and their recipes that we really need to also protect and cherish and give them a chance as well. If we are really serious about showcasing Sri Lankan cuisine and really taking our flavors to the world.
Imperial College of Business Studies marked 40 years of academic excellence at an event held at Colombo recently. The event brought together university partners, corporate collaborators and academics to honor Imperial College's 4-decade journey in the Sri Lankan market.
The ceremonial cake cutting and the official unveiling of the 40th anniversary logo marked a symbolic high point, signifying both heritage and a vision for the future. One of the highlights of the evening was the Service Excellence Awards, honoring long-serving lecturers and staff for over 5 years of service. The event concluded on an energetic note with the launch of the official video for Blaze, the inter-university sports tournament organized by the Imperial College Student Council. It featured cricket, rugby, basketball and football, promising to foster sportsmanship, unity and excitement among Sri Lankan universities.
Tonight, of course, we will revisit our legacy, celebrate our milestones, launch exciting initiatives and recognize those who have been part of this extraordinary journey. I think that's what we are making time for. So, once again, let me welcome you all to witness the legacy of Imperial College, where traditions meet transformation.
Stay tuned for stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The all share price index dropped by 78.24 points to close at 17,281.95. The S&P SL20 dropped by 3.74 points to close at 5,151.74. The turnover was over 6.8 billion rupees and 175 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.